玛巴的特质以及其不断转世的目的，就是为了要让众生看到自信中清净、良善、无染的本质，将每一个人心中的光明牵引出来，并且扩展到全世界。这样的特质，在我们现今所见17世噶玛巴的身语意中便可得到证明。法王噶玛巴的言谈里，无时无刻地展现出对世界纷扰的悲悯，以及对和平到来的尽心竭力。在历代噶玛巴的修持中，止观禅修一直都是重要的一部分，也特别强调借由观照的功夫彰显日常生活中的本质实相。噶玛巴的传承教义极为重视与法义相契合的圣观。为了达到这样的修持，首先必须先由培养出离心等基本功课入门，再借由一步步增进的禅修，将心性中真实的智慧开展出来，并以这样的力量将众生带入和谐与相互尊重的光明中。
아니 차당이 차와배나 차과로이나 수 뉴버치에 지라니야 괴베 딱가 괴베 그 자카리네 수 뉴버 동게 차과처럼 라는 무고 파 동게 정게데 나와쳐 근데 나도 되게 고아 수 동게 무고 파전갱이 삼바디 지 답변은 저 체를 따니 지나리아 주보는 조드로 지나 이주카리스 셴마도 최야체 미지 가져다지 지den가 나로 내가 체네 미지야게 드제거니 지나 차다니 우대야 메가메르 치러 인두산에다니 다 메가메 인두산에다니 근데 체는 아주 디야게 근데스다 차다 상부샤스어다 차당 코라 야게 다스요다 차당 상부샤즈 근데스 야게 방고도 괜히 차즈 근데 시와치하고도 아주 딱.
So the activities of attachment or desire is craving, grasping for things, all towards oneself, what to get, what is needed, and more of what one wants to have. And the activity of aversion is what to get rid of, what to reject. And so these being the activities of attachment and aversion, unless one is someone who is going to spend one's life in the seclusion of mountain caves, if we are going to live our lives in the regular world, the world we live in, then in a way we can't do without attachment and aversion. And again, it should not be misunderstood. We're not talking it in terms of promoting attachment and aversion, and particularly the harmful and the detrimental side of attachment and aversion. But to be able to look at it, that actually the attachment has these two aspects, that there is some distilling, there is some refining that can take place, where the negative side could be given up and abandoned, and the wholesome side can be further nurtured and refined. and in that way, that where we are living in our own lives, that the change and the transformation could be made to happen.
당연히 연대나 그 시와 시주 연대 공부 단수 마시면 내야 내는 차단 이유들이야 민스타스 세단 도와 지다 세단 야지 대자 도지다 대자 야지 니도.
So before we talk about the good side of anger or aversion into attachment, and the negative side of attachment and aversion, we need to, in a way, encapsulate them or label them. And so we can say that good aversion and bad aversion, good attachment and bad attachment. There are two kinds of both.
But I'm do it I'm do it and I to that shit down the control the shaman would see bear casualty. 타라루와 the shadow 타라루네. 베나다 가이사나 지딘디 나로리아. 에너지 창매 이동화지 영화라 창매 이동 영화지 영화스. 근데 뉴스안에지 대비 규정이 타지도 이동화 임버지 나중에 가서에 셴바체를 착보체 셴바 착보체 집에이네야 교요. 다들 뉴스안에 되네 나중에 턴진을 말로에 관해 간다지 의비 니주 뭐네 지시바라고 지리야. 다 간다지 거라 지 배나 되샤라고 지 깨이미는 뒤유 뭐로부터 지 의비게 가쇼래다 건다 입당 거바로 그제예비냐 대 치신도 조마다에 관해 나중에 가셔야지 조마다바 가셔 뭐네 정복이 니주 통도를 직관에 나중에 될래야지 착과를 착배서로 깨비미나 저도와 대대로 많이 봐 뭐 프랑스 예배 지래야 이당 거봐 남바 예배 지래야 뒤돌아 하고도야 러니 조다 지 만제 가져야지 뭐 니주를 대대로 만제바 있는 만제바 매바 이나야 지 만제베 조다 뭐 니주를 지 대장 제보 매바 있네야 제보 예배 조다네 나 간다지 뭐네 전에기 유럽니다. 유조상 미제 랑글로 조상 자기 삼르디 지교하면서 간다지 유기 지금의 내주다 유근 정당에 조차체 대라 아주 조차와 삼르다네 디제소 랑기 셈데 로토베체고 여러마도 랑기 셈데 조체네 유기 내주디즈네야 랑기 셈기 지가주에 구지 제샤이나 되는 랑드 셈데 바지다 직딩 제베솔 차对吧 아가로 지 구지 제 당아주지 가시에기 가주에 직딩 제보 가주에 지 뇌가 아마디네야 수수 직딩 제보 제리가 지금 필리핀데 인고에 대비에 대해 샤스테 샤고에 사지 삼로 땅에 뉴산에 지 지된 체별 상으로 따야도 그러고 이제 뭐 이번 전에 뭐왜 저다나 철수 지들이 봐 대가라리아 지 가서에 조치와 체네 rangi 지 유바미 조치와 이제 늦자디 계속 쳐가 가디지 유 rangi 가서에 지 뢰 판지 하러와디 조치와 제위미나 타르는 거야 알아 디 다 착당하네. 이제 가지고 타는 놈이 착당하네. 데 견다된 말이지. 유조 차와제네 유기 취자리아 조차와제 데 상당하네. 이제 수웨이미나 아니다. 연대로지. 같이 창도.
So, for instance, talking about the negative side of, let's say, desire, attachment, and the negative side is at any given time there is a possibility that one could get caught up in falling into some extreme situations and extreme sort of fanatical situation, falling into. Which is to say, there is no relative object, outer phenomena, that is perfectly, completely good and attractive. And by the same token, there is no phenomena or no object that is just absolutely bad. Given that being, at least even in the relative context, to have the illusion, to fall the victim of, become a victim of the illusion that something is absolutely terrible and fall into it, or something is absolutely fabulous and fall for it, is so a great mistake, a very mistaken approach. So which is to say again, that when one perceives whatever phenomena arises, it is well advised that one is able to approach it from the point of view of simply whatever phenomena arises, from the objective angle point of view. But the normal tendency is never that way. The tendency is always ready to indulge in fabrication, something that is not totally at all true about the relative manifestation of whatever phenomenon. Indulging with whatever fabrication one feels that it's akin to one's preferred outlook. And if something in its relative manifestation is not some good or beautiful, fabricating it with the illusion that it is something rather fabulously beautiful, and something in its relative appearance is not particularly that bad, but having the illusion and therefore fabricating it as something terribly bad. So it is important that we are able to go along with primarily how things, though relatively, manifest on their own, and not making the fabrication that we want to indulge as the primary, as the more important thing. And so usually, of course, there is the tendency that whatever object becomes manifest, we don't relate to them as how they manifest. We are ready to manipulate. We are ready to fabricate. And while theoretically or intellectually, we claim that we hold the view that we don't believe in creations or creator. But while theoretically holding that belief, preferring that belief, but actually we make ourselves the creator. We want whatever manifests not as they are, but how we want them to be, how we prefer them to be. And so in this way, once again, it's important to recognize that whatever manifests is more important than whatever illusion, fabrication make it to be. If one does that, then one is going to fall into whatever extremes, and that extreme is not in one's favor.
제자랑 아주 참배가 올라가야 되산 뒤 시에서는
We should probably make a song based on the rhythm of the coughing. Coughing is the rhythm. Sounds pretty good, actually.
Tene, ta dinde che, ta kanda ji siba da shiwe che ta la mya ji lingye ni ji libu lingye cha ni yo ji de ji nyebe cha ne lingye cha ni ta che gang le ne ji lingye cha ni sa ma ji libe cha ne chibe na liba ji tokyu nyebe cha ne chibe na nyeba shi tokyo dade sibe che tamjia le ni ji yang dia dade ko nyomo ji wo ma gewa le de de mi gewa le de de siba le de de shiwa le de de re nu sa ne lingye ge cha de le de ne lingye cha ni ga thoya ye de ji chao ya su de nu sa cha ji ne nyamba yo a de cha shi jin sang bo yo ya 자시지는 상보용한테 자시지는 예보용한테 근데지 요구요 스테이비 윤생기 안에 아주 지 내담 담대지 미소술이야 내담 담대 어디 가르스 다 기시 코란피네 지 가르레 리니에로 가면 지 리니에로 찍기 몰래야 봐 춥대야 버지 예비는 다 바지 아주 된대지 내담 담대 왕보용 시그만 아주 수수 주다 다들 이제는 간단 리니에 참만 붙지는 아주 다의 인자 에 소수의 리니에 차대 통마통 에네 리니에 차간 제 맞게 균생기 미소수소소리야 되는지 구유다 되네 구유다 지 주담 문제와 나서요 용디
So in the whole of samsara and nirvana, so that there will be all of manifestations, all of manifestations, samsaric and otherwise. There's two sides to both. The wholesome side and the deficient side, and the good side and the negative side. And when we engage, so we're not just talking simply in terms of mental afflictions. We're talking in terms of virtuous actions and outlook, non-virtuous actions and outlook. When we engage in something wholesome and virtuous, the result is likewise. When we engage in something unwholesome and negative, the result is likewise. Be it in the realm of sphere of samsara, or for that matter, in the field of self-liberation or nirvana. And simply, if there isn't that kind of interdependency, then obviously the way we would experience things would be in a more permanent and a more fixed way. Then it is not so. As far as our experience is concerned, it's simply because the constant changes of manifestations that we go through based on individual outlook, based on individual activities, we have our personal experience of our personal, sense of environment and surroundings, for that matter.
대한 변하지 개와 미교와 지당이 인류와 유능원에 개와 미교와에서 이내는 유능원에 이제 얼굴에 수를 이제 인도요아니 이내한테 나아서는 이루어지요. 나아서 그게 개와 이내야 나아서야 야 장전지 개와 이래서 성전 미교에 이래서 제가 유능원에 니즈토리아 개와 이거지 미교와 가서 나아서라 개와 이루어지야 이루어지야다 뭐요니 뒤준세에 이렇게 시해요. 제마다 개와 미교 나 마신게 이렇게 시해 성공하나 좋아도 시해요. 나도 나도 처음 보내야 돼. 저게 비싼 내가 지금 측이 교회 오더도 지금 대학의 교회 오더도 지금 못 따라요. 이제 또요. 이제 다고입니다. 아니 가서 그들의 시비산에 답에 우레 다 시험에 있어요. 내려가요. 배나 신다가 샤네 가져야지 아주 뒤규이지 가져야지 세비주다 이전에 미지 측세하고 지당이 아주 뒤규배주다 측들의 견단을 하셨어. 미세지 최시야 정해 뒤규는 가지고 견단하지 예대리네. 가연스는 엄마 그래야 이렇게 시에 카드입시다요. 게시에 저 유행에서 게시에 지금 뭐 저에 카드입시다요. 유사에 카드다 최 나 지금 가지고 진짜 쓰는 수차. 아니 뒤주지야 내사예요. 게시에 좀 카드 왜 유사 자스 내사양이 자스 내가요.听起来게시에 겸오지 영화제 하고 내사야 지슬라면서. 저라디 게시에 겸오 자고 도다 제가 게시비에 저렇게 예, 저 자신이 무슈그란 자신이 고원요. 제제 이렇게 나와서 이제는 저도 아주 내자에 있으라네. 권내자야. 내자에 비사 내자야네. 내자야 비사 안데 무슨 가져야지. 권내자한테 예를 급질이야. 근데 내자한테 아무 지었다 아마 내 모습을 아마 누구죠? 아마 게임 누군데? 저의 거지야. 나가지야. 무지. 나가서 지야. 이 비싸네. 매일 무지 주지. 근데 나가 보면 돼. 나는 네 멋이지. 아주 좋아. 지리자다디 미도지 만나서 유효시로 봐. 네 그에 나와도 코 나와는 완전 유저 계시에요. 코 나와는 완전 내말라 멋있지. 유야도 많이 잘하고 있어. 근데 잘하고 있어. 아주 잘했어. 제가 아니 멋있지 유세야 돼. 다들 유니지 초에 계시지래요. 대체 시작을 지금 가져야지 특징에다가 체매 남자가 제대로 기술에 준견나이 두세레샤 제자님들이 초시에들 거리야. 지가 되게 마음도 영시에 근데 이제 반대 단체 다다 나주지 가져야지 초와 비주제내체 가져 나주지 계시에 자미 나주지 네 지금 뭐셔 저에서 제 비주지 초와 상의 그도 초와 아주 셰체 아주 비주 율체지 이제 체리가
So in terms of virtuous and non-virtuous activities and outlook, the fundamental nature of things, the way they manifest, is virtuous. And if the fundamental nature of things is fixed, virtuous, and non-virtuous, then what is good or virtuous will always remain virtuous. What is bad and non-virtuous, unwholesome will always remain non-virtuous and unwholesome. And so that is not true. So that is the basis of what I'm talking about. That the fundamental nature of world or things as they manifest is good, is free of harm in that sense, is good. But when we indulge in fabrications, we have a tendency to make what is good, what is wholesome, unwholesome. Therefore, the result of our outlook, negative outlook, firing back on us in unwholesome experiences. What I want you to know is that what I'm sharing with you is based on my personal feelings, based on my personal experiences. So in that way, that I'm not particularly focusing on the correctness of terminologies, terms, and, or for that matter, the fine point of the meaning. And so it is possible that both in just from nitpicking point of view, both in meaning as well as especially in words, it may appear wrong. Because if we are in another context, talking in another context, from the point of view of dialectical debate, like Dharma debate, then you have to think about each word, the meaning and the term, and the relationship between the term and the meaning. And so, before you say one word, utter one word, you might have to first take a deep breath and then say the word, and make sure the word and the meaning are not in conflict with each other, because the other person is there to get on your case, so to speak. And so, in that way, like in Tibet, many of the learned scholars, the geshes, are very good, very articulate in pointing out the subtlest mistakes, the nuances, the terms, to the point that what we use, what we might call colloquial terminologies, that's the language we normally talking to each other. Even those can be used to point the faults within those. We should be talking in a way that we normally talk, because it is rooted in some fault, some limitation, and so forth. It's either the meaning is wrong or the term is wrong. So in this way, even to the point that in Tibet, like some of the scholars in the Geshe were so articulate, it was a cause of nuisance for others who are not likewise, who are not so. So in Tibet, since there are no, guest houses or whatever like that, people used to go and ask if you could stay at somebody's home and be there, that if they could be your host and put you up for whatever days and nights. And so it got to the point where this geshe is coming and they take it over the conversation, and so articulate and so pinpointed in their term. So when somebody comes and stop by and say, could you offer me shelter? The question would be first, are you a geshe? And then, so the story is that one geshe, and when he was going around and needed a place to stay, and he knew this quite a bit, so when he was asked by the host, said, are you a geshe? is absolutely no. I don't even know the head or tail of debating. No. And just for me, it's like totally unknown. And so then the family, they gave shelter. And the owner of the place, house, the hostess, and she happened to go out, and there she, wherever she was walking, she saw an insect. And she happened to pick it up and tell her daughter, and saying the words, telling her daughter, put this somewhere, take this somewhere where we wouldn't die. And so the geshe was tickled by it, having the habit of debating and all of that, the use of the words. So the geshe was tickled by it, and he couldn't help but tell his hostess, if you can take somebody where, it wouldn't die, find me such a place too. And sort of like playing with the words in that sense, but in a way, nitpicking. So here, that's not our concern. We are not in a debate situation to prove how technically correct we are, or how theologically correct we are. But from my point of view, I'm here to share that I have this feeling that actually we are together, and in some sense, we know each other. But at least we are here to know each other more. And in that, within the context of that feeling, I share things based on feelings as opposed to how technically, how literally, and terminologically the correct and precise things should be. So, personally also, I take this as a very good opportunity for myself. Normally under the circumstances that I am, I don't have so many to talk to. So that I look up at the sky and open my mouth and talk up towards the sky, or look down to the ground and talk to the ground, this and that, and so on. And, or, so in this way, talking to myself, basically. Constantly talking to myself. And here, that neither do I have to look up and open my mouth and talk up to the sky or down to the earth. Here, you are all here gathered. So I have a chance to talk to all of you. Thank you very much. The time is also just beginning to say thank you. So maybe we need to break here.
We will now recite the dedication of merit. By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing, from the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death. From the oceans of samsara, may I free all beings. And now we will sing the song on the back of the sheet, All World. Please rise.
선이 가래 선이 보다 파주 폐 유산에 가래 네 문주지와 그것이 대세지와 기주스 이게만 그것이 인지기 롱사지와 대선이 장주.
Tomorrow when you come for the teaching evening, you bring the Manjo text, the yellow book, and I think someone's going to give the long transmission, as it said in English.
Please rise.
Mame kute dambara jinje, nemu tongara jawara jinje.